Hello and welcome to your March 2022 forecast readings with me, Intuitive Rene. Always such an honor and privilege to be here for you, and thank you for giving me the space to create this kind of content that keeps you inspired, motivated, and enthusiastic about life. So we are looking at March 2022. I actually can't quite wrap my head around that, but anyway, um, what this video is a series of 12 individual videos that are the same but completely different. Basically, I record a single video for each sign of the zodiac using the same layout or the same spread, the same deck of cards, but obviously the cards that come through, the messages that come through, and the reading that comes through will be completely different for each sign of the zodiac. So there are 12 identical spreads or 12 identical readings, and you get to choose one based on your sun sign. And if you know yourself, your astrology, and you know your rising sign and your moon sign, you're welcome to watch those as well to get other aspects or just another angle on your own life and your own what's coming through for you during the month of March 2022. So these videos, these taroscopes as I call them, they are released the week before the new month. So in the last week of the previous month, you will get them, which is why you're now getting the March readings. And the way that I suggest that you work with this is obviously before the month starts itself, watch the video to get an idea of what's in store for you, what you need to be aware of, what you need to know about, what's coming up for you, so that you can almost plan and be prepared for anything. And then during the month, at least once, I would say about halfway through, but anytime that you find yourself facing a challenge or facing a problem, come back to the video and look at it, watch it again, even if you just pick out certain aspects of it, just to remind you and to help you stay focused on whatever it is that you need to stay focused on. So before I push the record button, I do all the behind the work scenes of connecting to spirit and setting the intentions and all of that other kind of good stuff, and making sure that I set the intentions correctly for each one of you. So it is a collective reading, so it's for everybody who has the same sign of the zodiac, but each one of you will hear something different through the reading, and that's the intention that I set, and that's the way that I work with spirit. We're using the tarot just as a tool, just to help formulate, if I can say, the stuff that needs to come across. And for this month, for the month of March, I am working with two amazing decks. The first one I'm going to work with is if I can get the glare off, is the Enchanted Map Oracle. And the Enchanted Map Oracle is going to give us our theme for the month ahead. And it's the first card that we're going to draw through the reading. And like I said, I do love working with this particular deck. This is such an old deck. I think it's like one of the first that ever joined my collection from the Oracle point of view. And I mean, it is so old and grubby and dirty and fabulous. So I love working with Enchanted Map to give us our theme for the month ahead. And then, getting quite excited, I'm going to work with the Spacious Tarot. So the Spacious Tarot is a normal, typical tarot deck, but from a different perspective. The whole deck, every single card, if I remember correctly, there's no people in the deck, so it's almost like from your eyes. Okay, so it's if you're looking at whatever's in front of you, but from your eyes or from your vantage point, it's the Spacious Tarot. It's the space in front of you. So because we're doing a forward look, because we're looking at the month ahead, I thought working with the Spacious Tarot, and it's such a beautiful deck. The artwork is just exquisite. So quite looking forward to working with Spacious Tarot as well. And of course, they're a beautiful sized deck. It's not overly large and difficult for me to shuffle and to work with. They're a beautiful size, perfect size as far as I'm concerned. So those are the two decks that I'm going to be working with. And as I mentioned earlier on, I am doing quite a detailed spread. I've got 10 cards or 10 card positions. So I'm going to shuffle and lay out 10 cards and read. It is the same format that I used in February. So if you enjoyed the format I used, then we're going to work with the same format for the month of March. And we're going to lay out the 10 cards and just see what comes through for every one of you. This particular intro is a generic intro. So I'm recording this intro once, and I'm just going to add it into every single video that I create hereafter for the March Taroscopes. And I just do it to save myself repetitive talking, and also because when I start recording and I start like with Aries and move all the way through to Pisces, I get in the zone, okay? And because of that, I want to just, when I'm doing those readings, just get straight into it and bring through whatever information that you need. If you enjoy this kind of content and if you enjoy these taroscopes, I am just a small channel here on YouTube. I'm nobody big and fancy and fabulous. So the best way to support and to show appreciation for what I do is to give the video a thumbs up and a comment below. Get all your friends to come and watch. But the more you interact with the video, the more you're letting YouTube know that this is good content and other people need to see it. So YouTube will recommend it to other people, and that's the best way to support me. And also just to show me that, that you do enjoy what I do. So thank you so much, and let's get straight into your reading. Right, so Cancerians, let's get into your reading and let's have a look and see what the month of March 2022 has in store for you. So I'm shuffling the Enchanted Map Oracle. This is going to give us our theme for the month ahead. So we're asking for a single card to represent the theme for March 2022 for all Cancerian energy. And apparently that's the one. Right, let's get those out the way and let's have a look and see what we have. Oh, we've got coming apart. You know what? I know initially, like the first time you read that, you think, oh, bad card, bad card. But actually, it's not really. Whenever I look at this particular image, and you've got to use a little bit of your imagination here, but I always see like a flower bud, still sealed, still closed, and then it needs to break apart in order to reveal the beautiful flower that contains inside, that is inside. When we look at this particular image, it is a mirror image, okay? So what we've got happening on this side, we've got happening on this side, except there are a couple of differences. Not so much with the faces down the bottom here, but let's look at these ladies. So immediately your eyes are drawn to this, I don't know, I want to call it a trail of hair, but I'm not quite sure. Let's actually call it a ribbon. And can you see what it's done? It's got her blindfolded. She's not blindfolded. She's not, her vision or her sight is in not way obscured by this ribbon, but hers is. So it's almost like we need to come apart in order to see. We need to let go of the strings that tie us, the strings that hold us back in order for us to progress and to move forward. So coming apart is not falling apart. I know it's very easy to go there and say, right, that's it. So March is about us falling apart. No, not at all. Not at all. Coming apart is something that we need to do. It's almost like just allowing yourself to open, allowing yourself to blossom. To reveal the true beauty of what lies inside. I am going to just add on to that. Sorry, let me just make a bit of space here. I am just going to add on to that as well, that, you know, when a flower opens and starts blooming, we don't know the pain that's involved. You know, we don't know if it's an effortless, easy thing or if it is actually quite painful. So coming apart, there may be a little bit of agony, there may be a little bit of pain, there may be a little bit of discomfort, but you know what, we'll see now when we lay out the tarot. But it is a case of March being the month where you have to sort of allow yourself to just, maybe it's not even allow yourself, but maybe it's just to allow people, others, to see inside of who and what you are. So it's about, you know, just parting a little bit, just to allow a little bit of, just a little peek inside of what's going on, and maybe releasing little bits of yourself for others to see. All right, I am shuffling Spacious Tarot, and I'm going to lay out the cards, and then we're going to get into understanding more of what is coming apart for you in the month of March. Okay, let's have a look. I have to giggle. You know, immediately we get the flower in full bloom. I have to giggle. I have to giggle. All right, let me just lay them all out and then we will get into the reading. I am more focusing on keeping the cards neat and straight than I am actually with looking at what the cards are, so just bear with me, because the angle of the camera means that the stuff is not straight on my table, so I have to make sure I'm looking at the right screen, because otherwise you end up with an absolute mess on camera, and we can't have that. All right, friends, let me just have a quick look and see what is predominant and what's happening here. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards, and we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 wands. So it seems like if I look at the overall, before we've even got into the nitty-gritty, if I look at the overall, and remembering this is for all Cancerians for the month of March, The overall has got to do with our activities, but it's about big stuff, okay? Because we've got quite a few major arcana cards, and because we've got quite a few of the wands suit, it is a, when you put those together, it's about, you know, the big stuff that we get up to and the big stuff that we do and the big things that we handle in life. So it tells us that this coming apart is not just a simple, small, casual kind of thing. It is going to be something a little bit more significant. So let's get straight into looking at card number one. And card number one is the card of the Emperor. Emperor being a major arcana card. And here we have the poppy, you know, and we all know what the poppy stands for. We all know why people still wear poppies today, in honor, in remembrance, in, you know, standing up straight, all of those kind of things. And this is exactly what the month of March is going to be for you. It doesn't matter what you're feeling. It doesn't matter how sad and stooped and bent over, because I'm seeing quite a lot of, you know, a lot of them that are. It's about allowing yourself to come apart and allowing yourself to bloom in all your glory, in all the ways that you can, to reveal, I want to call it, the sweetness of what you contain, okay? So it is important that this be the focus, and it looks like it no matter what you do. No matter how hard you try to avoid or how hard you try to prevent or to stop, this is going to happen for you. It's inevitable. Let's just say that it's inevitable. So don't resist. Okay, go with the flow. Allow yourself to be, what's the word I want to say? Allow yourself to be protected and allow yourself to be nurtured through this coming apart and revealing your true self, because it is time. I mean, let's just put it that way. It is time. The challenge with this whole scenario is Seven of Cups. And Seven of Cups, the first thing I want you to notice is most of them are upside down and spilling their contents, okay? Here's upside down, upside down, upside down. That one's over there spilling its contents. The other thing I want you to notice is the different shapes and sizes of cups that we have on here. So Seven of Cups is the card of saying to you choices and options, okay? And it's saying to you that you have a lot of choices and options. It's also telling you that sometimes, again, we have to come apart. We have to empty the contents of a beaker, of a cup, so that we may put something else in it. Because if you just keep adding, you eventually end up with a crazy mix. You know, can you imagine if you've got a half a cup of coffee and suddenly you feel like a glass of cool drink, and you pour a glass of cool drink on top of the glass of coffee, and then later you want some tea and you've still got some stuff left in the cup and you add tea, you're eventually going to end up with a horrible mess. So I think this is exactly what Spirit is saying. The challenge that you're facing now during the month of March is the fact that there's too many choices and options, and you would prefer to know, right, this is what I need to do, this is where I need to go, and this is what needs to happen. But when there's too many choices and options and too many if, buts, and maybes, it can get a little bit overwhelming. And because we have to be strong, oh gosh, I can't pick up the cards. Because we have to be strong and capable, okay, because that's what this is, strong and capable. Because we have to be strong and capable, it can be quite overwhelming and quite nerve-wracking when there's too many choices and too many options, because you think, well, you know, what happens if I use that cup, but actually I should be using that cup? Or what happens if I should be holding the cup with the handle instead? You know, don't get yourself into that analysis paralysis, okay? Don't do that. We need to stand firm. We need to stand strong. And I do think the challenge that Spirit are bringing forward with the Seven of Cups is basically saying to you, once you've made your decision, once you've decided on what's right for you and what makes you happy and all of those kind of things, stick with it. No backsies, okay? No going backwards. It's about staying firm, it's about staying strong, and it's about staying, once you've made your decision, by just following through, even if it means coming apart a little bit, okay? Right, so why is all of this necessary, you know? And here we have the Chariot. Now, when I look at this card, if you're into whitewater rafting or whatever, I'm sure this is going to be an exciting card for you. But for me, I'm feeling like quite nervous, because there's these huge mountains and what looks like a really narrow little bit of water to travel through. And the light is right here in front of us, which means that we're a little bit blinded and we can't really see where we're going. What comes through with the Chariot card in this particular instance is the focus that is needed, okay? You need to really be on your A game in order to navigate through the little gap that there is. But again, you've got choices and options, and you need to stay confident, because if you drop your confidence, if you lose your confidence, you are going to come apart, but not in the way that we're talking about. All right, so Cancerians, the reason why we have these choices, and why we have to is because, we are navigating a little road, we are navigating a little pathway, and there is a little, I don't want to say danger, okay, but there is a likelihood or a chance of, crashing into the sidewalls. But if you stay focused, and if you stay on the right path, you're actually going to be okay. But this is also saying to you that you cannot resist the current. Okay, you cannot resist the flow of water. Sometimes in life we have to recognize that we just have to go through the flow, and if you try and reverse and go against the flow, or go against the stream, you're really causing yourself problems. So again, let's just recap the three that we have already. We have to stand strong and firm and tall. We have to be confident in what we are, what we do, how we do it, who we do it with and for, and all of those kind of things. There is the challenge of having too many choices and options, which could overwhelm us because we're worried about making the wrong one. But we have to actually just go with the flow, okay? We have to stay focused, and we have to go with the flow. Otherwise, we are going to create some challenges for ourselves. And what's interesting, child of wands over here, I mean, here we have this tiny little salamander, and he seems to be walking up this wand, the stick. And can you see there's like this little bit of magic happening at the end of the wand, okay? But he's had to be brave and confident, isn't it? Because he's curious and he wants to see what's there. So he's sort of like saying, well, I don't actually know what it is, but I'm just going to do it anyway. And it's these kind of behaviors and these kind of thought processes that you've had previously that have brought you into the situation that you're in. So if you're wondering, how did you get here? If you're wondering, how did I get to this place where I'm starting to come apart, or I'm needing to come apart, and having this kind of focus situation over here, it's because of previous activities. It's because of previous times in your life, in your situation, where you've found yourself working or moving towards something that intrigues you, and actually that's where you need to be. So with that child of wands, I really think it's Spirit saying to you, even though you may feel a little bit out of your comfort zone, and even though you may feel a little bit vulnerable, you are already on that journey, you are already moving in that direction. So stay strong, stay confident, stay bold, and keep going in that way. Now, where things get really, to me, so fabulously interesting is with this card over here. So it is another major arcana card, and it is the card of the Star. Now, if you imagine yourself lying on the floor of the forest, looking up at the sky, this is the view. So we've got all these trees all the way around us, and we're looking at that beautiful night sky, and we've got the star shining. Now, if you imagine yourself in that kind of a scenario where you are lying on the ground and just staring up at the stars, we sort of get lost, don't we, in our thoughts, in our emotions, in our thinking, in our processes. And we suddenly start dreaming, and we suddenly start having all of these kind of, I'm going to call them visions, but visions of the future, visions of hope, visions of, things being a better time, easier time, simpler time. So the Star card is the card of hope. It's the card of renewal. It's the card of healing, and it's the card of adjustment. And that is the card confirmation from Spirit of the support that they are offering you through this coming apart situation. All right, so this is a confirmation from Spirit that it is all going to be okay. All right, it is going to be okay, even though it may get a bit scary, even though it may get a bit difficult, but it's definitely all going to be okay. All right, now it's interesting, this particular child of wands that we had is in the position of, how did we get to this position we are now? And this one that we're about to look at is where we're moving to. And actually, let's show you in this way, because our same little cute orange salamander has now grown up and has now become an elder. So we were a child, and now we are an elder. And we've suddenly, our tiny little flame and our tiny little spark of magic has now become this huge, big magic show. I mean, how wonderful is that? So again, confirmation from Spirit that it's all going to be okay. Confirmation from Spirit that you actually are going to achieve everything that you've set out to achieve. But I just want to remind you that you have to open up and reveal a little bit of yourself, but you also have to remain, consistent, strong, and capable through the whole process. So Elder of Wands is basically saying to you, you are loud and in charge. loud and in charge. So stay that way. Speak your mind. Be super confident in what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're saying. Don't let any kind of doubt or insecurities step in. You need to be super strong. You need to be super brave. You need to be super confident. But this also means that you are going to succeed. You are going to be in the position that you want to be, which I think is truly, absolutely fabulous. All right. So, Cancerians, we're now going into our last 4 cards. And so that's the situation that you're facing. All right. This is what March is all about. So, it is about the coming apart. It is about opening up and revealing a part of yourself that maybe you've kept hidden. But it's about the way in which you do it, because that's what I'm getting with every single one of these cards. It's not so much the what as it is the how. Okay, we can see that we are supported, loved, and everything is going to be okay. But this is just Spirit saying to you, it may be a bit rough, it may be a bit rocky, it may be a bit complicated. But if you stick with your plans and stick with your strategy, it's actually going to be okay. So what we have down here, all right, and starting off with this Ace of Wands. So we know that we've got quite a few wands, and again we've got this kind of, it's almost like the spark of initiation, the spark of intrigue, the spark of activity that we have at the top of the wand, and everything else is nothingness, because the Ace of Wands is saying to you that you can do anything, that there is unlimited potential as long as you take that first step, as long as you like that first one. Okay, all you have to do is initiate and get that first one going, and then we have a chain reaction which will lead us to our success and happiness. So this is how people see you. So when you interact with people during the month, they're going to see you as somebody who is capable of doing anything. They're going to see you as somebody who is, once you've set your mind to something, that nothing gets in your way, nothing stops you. And they're going to see you as almost, I want to say, faultless. Okay, and it's quite interesting. And the reason why Spirit needs you to know that is because it may give you the confidence that you need. Because when you're thinking that everybody's doubting you, you immediately start doubting yourself. But when you know that people are confident in what you do and how you do it, and confident in you, it almost gives you the confidence that you need to stand tall and to make the right decisions and to navigate whatever it is that you need to navigate. So, and these two are, I'm going to call them the opposites, because this is external you and this is internal you. So let's have a look at internal you. I mean, how cute are you, first of all? What we have here is the Child of Pentacles. So you're somebody who really, like, you want to, and you know how, and you know what, but you're still a little bit nervous to actually do it. So it's like a little bit of apprehension and a little bit of, I want to, I can, I need to, but what happens if this happens? And what I want you to note in this particular card is the openness. Okay, there's no shadows, there's no trees, there's no obstacles, there's no burdens, there's no challenges. It's just, I'm going to call it the rolling hills. Okay, and we've got beautiful flowers and we've got beautiful abundance all around us, because this is the card of abundance, but it's the beginning of abundance. But it's about you having the courage and the confidence to be yourself. And if you can work on that, if you can work on your confidence, if you can work on your own inner belief system, this is possible. Okay? So people believe in you, people realize and can see the potential that you have, but you're questioning your own potential. So these two are, I'm going to say, a little bit on the opposites. The biggest fears that you have, though, is winning. And I know that sounds weird. Like, how can that be a fear? But it is, because you want to win, but you're afraid that you're going to win. And you're also worried about the consequences of winning. Because what we have here with the Six of Wands is the card of victory. Okay? So this is the card of victory and success, but it's about other people acknowledging and recognizing your victory and success. So you, Cancerians, you would much rather succeed quietly in the background and not necessarily have all the eyes on you. So as much as you want the success, you're also afraid of what it means, and because obviously if you succeed today, people have this expectation that you're going to succeed tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. So it's a little bit of a difficult one, isn't it? But, again, recognizing that that's how you're feeling will give you, again, the confidence to allow yourself to come apart a little bit and to reveal those parts of yourself that are needed. And what is the whole month all about? And I love this as a final card for us, because Four of Pentacles is the card of knowing when to hold them and when to let them go. All right. When is the right time to let go? When is the right time to hold on to? And what are we letting go or holding on to? Anything and everything. When is it the right time to come apart and to reveal parts of yourself? When is that right time? When is it the right time to be so brave and confident and to stand so tall that nobody misses you? When is it the right time to be so focused on the pathway and the walkway and the journey that you're on? And when is the right time to make the right decisions? Well, Cancerians, you are the only one who knows that. And I am going to tell you that March is the month where you make these decisions. March is the month where you do allow yourself to come apart and to reveal your true self. All right. I love this, actually. I really, really do. So I know it started off, I'm going to call it a little bit scary, okay? It started off a little bit nerve-wracking. It started off thinking like, what on earth? But the truth of the matter is we've got so much confidence. We've got so much support from spirit. We've got so much acknowledgement that actually the only thing preventing or limiting us at the moment is our interpretation or our judgment of self. And if we can let go of that, if we can work through that, and not overcomplicate things. Actually, we're going to blossom, we're going to bloom, we're going to stand tall, and we're going to be just fabulous, just fabulous. All right, Cancerians, I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you to navigate whatever the waters are, whatever the road is, whatever the challenges are. But just recognize that this is your month to shine. This is your month to open up, to reveal parts of yourself that you have kept hidden from the rest of the world for such a long time. All right. Thank you so much, Cancerians, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.